Hi there, I'm Surang from Englishman today, and I'm at Huluaguda, just beyond Goal. When you go to Baddegam from Goal, you find Huluaguda, and that is there is a walking path newly constructed and near a sort of water body, and this is really beautiful. And in the morning, it is really something to see. So today I'm going to tell you a very important aspect of language learning. That is how we learn languages. That is, should we use always the language structures, language anatomy, and everything mechanics to learn languages? But it is not so. People think that grammar and everything would be the basic thing to learn a language, but it is not so. In this very beautiful race, I'm going to tell you sort of things on language learning. That is, when you think about people here and there you meet every day, and you find them using their mother tongue freely in a very fluent way. So how can that be? Do you think that people from villages and they have never been to schools, and yet for they speak good sort of language fluently? How can that be? And when it comes to English language and any other language, sort of languages, the same thing goes. So how can that be? Without learning grammar, how do they speak good language, fluent language? That is really wonderful. People never think about that. So that is total immersion. So people are totally immersed in the language, so that naturally the language come into them. So when you listen to the English language, singular language, or whatever the language is, what naturally happens is it is registered in your brain, and you start talking about that, talking the and you start speaking the particular language. That is natural. That is a natural phenomenon. So always try to listen to or read things of target language of your interest. Now, for example, if you like, say, badminton, yeah, you can go to sort of topics on badminton, maybe discussions, maybe interviews, or sort of things on badminton in the internet. And there are very many things you can see. If you are really interested in nature, we can go to sort of materials. That is it. That is one thing that I have already told you the fact. But today, what I'm going to do is to talk about something different. That is, we learn basically language to the fluent extent, not using grammar but using different materials not prepared to teach you the language. For example, when you think about English language, you know that the grammar books and everything there are, and they have been prepared by experts to teach you the language, target language. Maybe Renan Martin, maybe Michael McCarthy, or anybody. But the thing basically is, if you want to be fluent, and if you want to go to a level to speak the target language fluently, you have to associate, you have to go to materials not meant to teach you the language, not meant to teach you the English language or Hindi language or any other language that you are aiming at. So the thing is, that is the natural way. That is how people have learned the language. So when you look around, you find people, and they use language naturally. Maybe Sinhala, maybe Tamil, or whatever the language, they use it naturally. But for your mother tongue, you don't want to learn grammar and things to pick up the language. So we can use the same way, similar manner, not basically in the same way, similar manner, to pick up the language. Those days, people had no sort of facilities, no internet, no videos, nothing. They have to go to a class and they have to pick up the language, learn the language, writing things, listening to teachers. But now you have the chance to listen to native speakers and people of the particular language that you are trying to acquire. So therefore, it's a very good chance. But you cannot get away from bad habits. People do have always habits shrink us. So the habit is always our people try to learn language using lessons. There are people called polyglots. Polyglots basically speak good number of languages, maybe 7, maybe 8. For example, Steve Kaufman speaks, say, at least 16, 17 languages. And he's fluent in 16, 17 languages, and he speaks basically of 20 languages. Lydia Makoba, that is of 7 languages or 8 languages or 9 languages, I cannot remember. She's speaking, and she's a polyglot. She's the person who is organizing, doing, making the polyglot gathering of annual polyglot gathering at a place. And Luca Lamprario. And there are very many people. I can remember actually the set of the names that I have seen. But when you think about Lydia Makoba, a lady, she learns one language to the fluent level within 2 years. She takes every 2 years, she picks up one language to the fluent level. But she's doing that. She allocates some time, not always she's doing something on the language, but she does something. And each and every year, she picks up 2 years, she picks up one language. That's really a very good thing. So we learn, we were going to school and we do a lot of things, but yet for all we don't learn the language, target language, doing diplomas, doing everything. We don't learn the language. So that is really sad to see. And therefore we have to think about the polyglot way to learn the language. Polyglot way is they are totally exposed to the language. They are in the language. And then naturally they acquire the language. So therefore, if you want to learn a new language, learn grammar. That is quite good. By learning grammar, you can see the structure, how the language behaves. But on the other hand, to acquire it perfectly to the fluent level, you should see how language is naturally used. Therefore, please go to natural materials, not prepared for teaching language, grammar books and sort of other materials. Even when a Suddha writes a book or something, prepares a material so that he can help you acquiring, learning the language. The language is not that natural, when Suddha using the language naturally in conversations, interviews and sort of things, that is really natural. But the material prepared to teach you the language is not that natural. So therefore, if we want to see how the language naturally behaves, how the language naturally operates, you have to go to sort of materials. Therefore, make it a point to go to materials you find in internet, not of big teachers of English, but ordinary people talking about things. That will help you to a great extent to acquire the language. So that is my message. In a nutshell, my message is, if you want to pick up the language to the fluent level, you have to go to natural places where naturally the language is used, not to the materials meant to teach you English, but their general conversations, discussions, interviews, etc. So therefore, give me a like and subscribe and share this video to your friends who are trying to learn a language, not only English, I mean Hindi or whatever the language. Okay, so bye.